You know, this is the kind of thing that, you know, part of this business is so much fun because I get to really interview one of my heroes, former great player that I had the privilege to coach in high school, Mark Beach, who is a great person at Wade High School, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the school. Now the new AD at Clay. First of all, Mark, AD is a complicated job. We talk to him all the time, you know, because we go from school to school to school. Matter of fact, I think we have a meeting with you guys tomorrow, actually. But anyways, I know how complex it is. I know how difficult it is, how many different draws are on you. You got to make the budget balance. You got to satisfy 15 coaches. You got to satisfy thousands of parents in the stands, teachers in the building because an athlete did something and they come see the AD right away. All that given, talk about your first year on a job.
It's been an education.
Okay.
I think it's been an absolute riot for me. I feel like my particular strengths are well suited for it. I think that...
well, tell the folks your background because they really are.
Well, you know, a long background, but I've been in sports for all my life. And coaching wrestling at 18 years. I played a little football for you, played a little basketball. Yeah. You used to call me the judge because I sat on your bench. But anyway, played a lot of sports, and so I had that background. And then I think I kind of got prepared for the parent side of things.
Is that harder today, Mark?
The parent side of things is a little bit more challenging. I think it all stems back, Tom, to the sandlots. Back when we were young pups,
yep.
You know, we were on the sandlots all the time, okay? And we've kind of policed ourselves, and parents were like, you be outside, be outside. And now it seems like the game isn't played much in the sandlots, it's all played through club, and you know, so parents are traveling more, they're spending money, and so there's more of a vested interest in terms of time and in terms of money. And I think that because they're more involved, it's a good thing, but it can also create its own challenges because their child's journey sometimes becomes their journey, and they don't necessarily see that. You know, they always talk about a lawyer who has himself for a client, or who represents himself as a fool for a client.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get so close to it that they don't really see what they're doing until after they're passed. And I'm one of those as well, and I include myself there as my children went through. It was tough to maintain a perspective because of all the time and money that you invested in your child, aside from the love, you know, but all the rest of it, you put a lot of work into them. And so today's world, I think you see that, and it manifests itself in them kind of being a little bit more vocal in the high school arena than they used to be.
Mark, every AD comes in and you know, you assess what's going on. Clay's great. We were out there a lot, great facilities, great people, great teachers, great coaches, but every AD wants to put a stamp on you know, the programs. And have you worked out your kind of philosophy of a coach philosophy, of an athlete philosophy? You know, I mean, that's got to be something that's, you know, churning a little bit in your mind.
Well, you know, candidly, not so much.
Okay.
I'm really more about, you know, just being of service to the people around me there. I would say to you that if there's any one thing that I would say would be, you know, a burning desire, I would like to see us, our filtering process, you know, with our kids. I think sometimes we send mixed messages to them, where, you know, you want to treat everybody with dignity and kindness, but at the same time, if you don't let somebody know that they're here and the other athlete is here,
right.
If you pretend that everybody's equal, I think you send mixed signals. And I think that you know, you hear a lot of people talking about they're just a child, they're just a child, they're just a child, but at some point that child grows up, and right. I think the quicker they can adapt to the competitive environment, you know, that we have here in the States, you know, and the more and more competitive that it gets, you know, I think that we're doing our kids a disservice to just say, you know, Johnny's just a little guy, don't worry about him, he's just a little boy. And I'd like to see us kind of, you know, utilize that filtering system with, you know, with grace and dignity, but be able to differentiate performance, because that's what we do in every aspect of our lives here today. I mean, if somebody did this job better than you, they'd be in here.
There's a ton of them. Believe me. There's more than we could count, Snake. I want to tell you. Yeah.
So I think that's my biggest focus there, and I think is just to, you know, make sure that you know, that people have some type of have a mouthpiece to vent, and everybody vents, but to be able to accept that and to absorb the blow, so to speak, or absorb the news, and be able to deliver things with grace and dignity and kindness is what I'm really looking to try to do in my time there. So.
Well, I think your stamp will be, you've repeated it a couple of times, and I know you personally, and will be grace and dignity and doing things with class, because you are always a class student, you're always a class athlete, always a leader. I was talking to one of your fine coaches, Coach Radabaugh, was in here just a little bit ago, and I told her you were a coach on the field. And it's interesting because you're saying that kids need to grow through sports, and the sport should make you a better person. And if it's not making you a better person, then it's not being done right, because the very nature of the sport, if you do it right, it does make you a better person. You're not always going to be the star. You're not always going to be the go-to guy, but you learn a lot about yourself, and I think those are the lessons.
Absolutely. I think that, sports teach you more than anything else in your youth about adverse situations, and how you handle that generally dictates more or less your success.
Yes.
than actually what events actually occur. If you're going to whine and cry about it or play more of a victim's type of role, then I think that you're going to have a lot more troubles with yourself going forward in life. So I think that with that mindset of I get knocked down, I get back up, I can handle everything in life moving forward, and I just think that that's a big lesson for us to learn.
Mark Beach, outstanding athletic director at Clay. Clay Athletics are in great hands. You're going to be wildly successful and do a great job. And if I needed to win a ball game and we had the ball on our 20-yard line and we got to go 80, I'm calling the snake to get it done. You were great. Thank you so much, Mark.
Appreciate it.
All right.